Take this, Justin. Take it. Actually, I thought he was a great guy, but since he crossed the personal line, he's not gonna have my respect. He's not gonna have my team's respect. All I'm gonna need is 2 minutes in the octagon with you. Then I'm gonna put you to sleep in front of your whole family, your country, in front of everyone.
Joe Rogan has just reacted to the growing drama between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje ahead of the UFC White House card. The situation really exploded when Topuria publicly accused Gaethje of crossing a line, making it clear that the rivalry had drifted into territory he wasn't willing to ignore. Topuria wrote, "Justin crossed a line." He then addressed the situation involving his ex-wife directly, saying, "What happened between my ex-wife and me is our business. We may no longer be together, but she is the mother of my daughter. To everyone insulting her or speaking about things they know nothing about, show some respect. You don't have to respect our relationship, but respecting someone's mother should be one of the most basic codes in life. Be better." Instead, he fired straight back, writing, "Proving my point, insufferable little bitch boy," before denying he'd ever insulted Topuria's wife. What's making the situation so explosive is that the disagreement isn't centered around rankings, title opportunities, or the usual arguments fighters have before a big event. Instead, the controversy revolves around comments involving Topuria's personal life and family, which immediately changed the tone of the entire build-up. Once those subjects entered the conversation, the fight stopped feeling like a standard UFC rivalry and started feeling like a genuine dispute between two men who no longer have much respect for one another.
That dude has the touch of death.
Yeah.
He has the touch of death.
And he's not a big guy. I've never seen him in person, but I was talking to somebody recently and they said, no, he's 5'7", you know.
He's small, man. He's not big.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a photo of me standing next to him when we did the podcast. We're standing next to him. He's much smaller than me. And, bro, he puts people into the shadow realm.
Yeah.
It's just technique and confidence. His confidence is crazy.
After what Justin said, are you more motivated to knock him out? Well, I've never lacked motivation to knock him out, but before I kind of had a slightly different approach. I had a little more respect for him. I saw him as a normal kid, more decent, but he's proven, well, he's confirmed that he's an idiot. I always had a feeling, but I hadn't seen him that closely. Justin is tight.
Justin, do you feel like he is overconfident the way he's talking about this fight?
I mean, this is how he approaches many fights. He's been successful every time along the road. Similar to like McGregor, how McGregor approached it, that you're going to make yourself this unbeatable, infallible person. And then when you lose, you know, where do you go from there? I can't wait to teach him that lesson. I've been there before and I love pressure. I love being the underdog. I love being counted out. And I love the fact that my opponent thinks he's some kind of god or king. And because I get to bring him down and you know, let him know that he's just a human like all of us. There's no doubt this kid is special, but this sport is so crazy. We've all seen it so many times where people are just count me out or count the opponent out, and then they come out on top. I believe in my ability. I believe in the ability to create angles, control distance, and be accurate, you know, and not make mistakes. I think I've been through and experienced these things so many times that, you know, if I'm not perfect on this night, then I should have never been here.
The exchange itself quickly caught fire online. Topuria publicly accused Gaethje of crossing a line after comments connected to his private life began circulating throughout the MMA community. From his perspective, certain topics should remain completely separate from competition, especially when they involve family matters and situations that have nothing to do with what happens inside the cage. The frustration in his response was obvious, and many fans immediately noticed that this wasn't the same confident, playful trash talk that fighters often use to generate headlines. Gaethje, however, had no interest in backing down. Instead of trying to calm the situation, he fired straight back and challenged Topuria's version of events, creating an argument that seemed to intensify with every response. Before long, both men were exchanging increasingly heated comments, and what had originally been a discussion about a fight was suddenly becoming one of the most talked about personal feuds in the sport. That's where Joe Rogan and many others started paying attention, because rivalries become significantly more dangerous when the focus shifts away from competition and toward genuine resentment. At that point, fighters stop seeing each other as simply the next obstacle standing between them and victory, and instead begin viewing the fight as an opportunity to settle something personal. Throughout combat sports history, that shift in mentality has often produced some of the most explosive and unpredictable performances imaginable, because emotion starts becoming just as important as technique.
Look at this fight, you're like, oh my god, it hurts just to watch.
Do you think Justin Gaethje has a chance?
Everybody has a chance. Gaethje has been into wars. He has a very good calf kick two that I think he should use, especially for Ilia Topuria. Topuria, very good boxing. If he hit Justin with that kind of power, Justin need to be careful. It will not be a good idea. A lot of power in his hand. He's also very good on the floor in wrestling. He started as a wrestler.
What percentage would you guys give it that Justin Gaethje can win?
I just don't see how Ilia gets cracked.
Justin Gaethje is 27-5.
That's crazy.
It's not that crazy considering Ilia's knocked out 3 Hall of Famers in a row, 3 legends in a row. Ilia just there, in your face, head movement, not a big frame, not a lot to hit. His hands are up. Ilia's just so fucking sharp. And
I mean, that's the one thing with Ilia Topuria. 17 wins, 7 KOs, 8 submissions. So goddamn confident. I'm so nervous for like Justin. Like his whole family's got to go there. I think there's a way he could win, but I'm like, God, it's just gonna be a brutal. So
what's especially interesting is how unusual this situation feels for Topuria. Throughout his rise to superstardom, he's built a reputation for being incredibly confident, incredibly composed, and completely comfortable inside the spotlight. He's never been afraid of verbal exchanges. He's never been afraid to make bold predictions. He's never looked intimidated by any challenge placed in front of him. This time feels different because the emotion appears real. The reason so many fans have reacted strongly is that Topuria doesn't seem focused on promoting a fight or creating headlines. He genuinely appears irritated by the direction the rivalry has taken, and that immediately changes the atmosphere surrounding everything connected to the matchup. That could become a major problem for Justin Gaethje, because if there's one thing we've learned throughout Topuria's career, it's that criticism, adversity, and personal motivation often bring out the very best in him. Time after time, people have questioned whether he could continue climbing the ladder, and time after time, he has responded with performances that only strengthened his reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Now he's entering one of the biggest fights of his life, carrying an extra layer of motivation. The UFC White House card was already an enormous opportunity. The spotlight is bigger than almost anything we've ever seen in mixed martial arts.
Why are people overlooking Justin Gaethje?
Justin Gaethje's up against it. It's a very difficult fight. Charles Oliveira beat Justin. They saw what Ilia did to Charles Oliveira. They saw what Ilia did to Max to make them believe that Justin has no chance. Justin said, I'm shooting missiles at him on the White House lawn. I think Justin's ready to do that. Either you're going to leave on the 250th anniversary of our country with an American guy as the undisputed champion of the world, or you're going to leave with a Spanish kid celebrating being the world champion at the White House. That's crazy.
Whatever it is, he has it.
Yeah.
He has it.
He's got it in his mind. He's got it in his technique. His grappling's fun. I watched a video of him grappling with Merab, and he was all over Merab. And that's crazy.
That's what they say. His grappling's just as good, if not better, than his stand-up.
That's where he started.
I've
He
never
started
seen
as
it.
a grappler.
I've never seen him grapple though.
Well, he finished Bryce Mitchell on the ground, and he's finished a few people on the ground.
We're going to have Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria to unify the belt. How do you think that's going to go?
It's a hard fight. The Gaethje that fought Paddy won't beat Ilia right now. Ilia's striking is leagues above everybody in the UFC, and the wrestling and jiu-jitsu is there as well.
Yeah,
Things
man.
have got to change at Gaethje's camp to make the fight competitive.
Yeah.
But that's not saying that we'll see that Gaethje when he fights Ilia.
I feel like Topuria will be able to take advantage and knock him out.
And a victory on a stage like this could elevate Topuria into an entirely different category of superstar. Add genuine personal tension into the equation, and suddenly this training camp begins looking very different from a normal championship preparation. That's one of the reasons Joe Rogan's reaction has generated so much interest. Over the years, Rogan has repeatedly spoken about the impact emotion can have on elite athletes. Sometimes it becomes a distraction. Sometimes it causes fighters to abandon discipline and chase moments that aren't there. Other times it sharpens their focus and pushes them toward career-defining performances. Looking at the intensity surrounding Topuria right now, many fans are beginning to wonder whether this situation is fueling him rather than distracting him. Once you step back from the drama and focus purely on the fight itself, it's easy to understand why excitement continues growing. Justin Gaethje remains one of the most dangerous and unpredictable fighters in combat sports. His pressure, power, durability, and willingness to embrace chaos have broken some of the toughest competitors in MMA history. Very few fighters are capable of dragging opponents into uncomfortable exchanges the way Gaethje can, which is why he's remained a threat at the highest level for so many years. The challenge for Gaethje is that Topuria possesses a skill set that many believe is uniquely designed to handle that style. His boxing is among the cleanest in the sport, his timing is exceptional, his shot selection is disciplined. Most importantly, he rarely appears rushed, even when opponents are actively trying to force him into uncomfortable situations.
I think it's going to be a KO for Ilia. This could be a very bad night for Justin Gaethje. Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, White House main event. Ilia obviously the favorite. This could be a very bad night for Justin Gaethje. As soon as Gaethje opens himself up, Ilia's going to be too sharp and just catch him. I think it could be that quick as soon as he does open himself up. Does Gaethje try and shell up, be very defensive, try and take him to deeper waters, take that power off Ilia? But my pick is going to be Ilia, knockout.
You fought Justin Gaethje. Why is he not getting the respect he deserves going into this fight?
I think it's because, like, even the average skilled eye when it comes to fighting, they know that Justin's a little bit sloppy at times, off balance. He puts himself in harm's way. He gets out of position a lot. And when you're doing that against a sharp puncher, a sharp counter striker like Ilia, it just seems like a bad matchup. You're going to run into big shots. And I think the average fan sees that. But Justin's kind of embracing that, like, everything's against me. I'm going to shock the world. I like that mindset for him.
That's one of the reasons so many analysts view him as one of the most complete fighters in the UFC today. The psychological battle may end up being just as important as the physical one. If Gaethje can successfully turn this fight into a chaotic war driven entirely by emotion, he immediately increases his chances of creating the type of fight he thrives in. On the other hand, if Topuria manages to channel that frustration into controlled aggression while maintaining the technical precision that made him a champion in the first place, the matchup becomes extremely dangerous for anyone standing across from him. What makes the rivalry so compelling is that it now operates on multiple levels at once. There's the sporting side of the story, where two elite fighters are competing on one of the biggest stages imaginable. There's the divisional side of the story, where the outcome could influence the future of the weight class. Then there's the personal side of the story, which is increasingly becoming the part that fans can't stop talking about.
One moment for him to land a clean shot, and that could potentially be it. Look at history from these guys' past few performances. Topuria typically gets the fight done relatively early and clean on his part. The other side, he takes a lot of damage. He does get the win, but he takes a lot of damage in the process. You do that against a guy who's a very technical strategist when he's in there. It's hard to say that's going to be fight of the night. I mean, Gaethje can always create chaos, but I think it just gives Topuria one moment for him to land a clean shot, and that could potentially be it.
Everybody, has different styles of fighting. His specifically is more of a boxing style when it comes to range and space and timing and, his position. He's shorter than me. And, you really don't want to have your head be too much higher than these guys that are throwing shots, missiles. Yeah, I mean, position is going to be the biggest factor in this fight. I have to control space. I have to control his feet. And I really have to be diligent in my defense. I have to constantly be winning the angle battle and the distance battle.
Justin, he has to pray to God. Ilia's like, let's make it entertaining. Points to the ground, which he does. So then it's like, all right, because Justin does have knockout power, kind of. Then he has a, coin flip there. Because Ilia does get hit a little bit. If Ilia goes, no, I'm mixed martial arts today. I'm going to take your ass down, wear you out, and then knock you out. It's going to be a tough day in the office.
A few weeks ago, most discussions surrounding this matchup revolved around styles, rankings, and what the result could mean for the division. Today, the conversation feels completely different, with fans debating questions of respect, personal boundaries, and whether the rivalry has reached a point where neither fighter is willing to let things go once the cage door closes. That's what makes personal rivalries so powerful. Once genuine emotion enters the picture, everything surrounding the fight naturally carries more weight, from interviews and social media exchanges to face-offs and press conferences, because fans know they're watching something that extends far beyond ordinary promotion. The UFC White House card was already expected to deliver some of the biggest moments of the year, but the growing hostility between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje has added an entirely different layer to the event.
The scrap, know what I mean? They're going to come out and they're going to try and take each other's heads off, but everyone's already counting Gaethje out, and we've already learned you can't do that. I don't know, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Gaethje might pull off an upset here and surprise everyone.
It's no make sense even put Gaethje versus Topuria. It's just a waste of time.
Oh, you don't think there's any chance, based on his toughness, that he can catch him, that he can break him?
No, how? He cannot wrestle. If he could wrestle, yeah. But on the boxing, he drops his hand. He does jab, and he drops his hand. He wants to throw his uppercut, and that moment, Ilia gonna overhook him and knock him out right away. Because he has no chin. Even like Perry, he touched him so easy, and he was bubbling, his legs was shaking.
It was so funny. It was so funny when I was like legit, like 100 people. It was legit. There was like 100 people in the media room, and then they're asking me about Ilia Gaethje, like Ilia Gaethje's next, and I was like, do we really have to do this? And I said to them, to the whole media room, I go, does anyone in this room think that Justin Gaethje is going to win that fight? I said, the cameras are pointed at me. I said, no one's going to see you put your hand up because the cameras are all pointed at me. Bro, of 100 of the media, of the UFC media people, not a single person put their hand up. And I was like, wow, why do we... Well, I'm not being sad. Like, I like Justin Gaethje. Like, we're on the same level, you know what I mean?
No matter how this shakes out, now obviously everybody's looking at this fight, and I've seen the memes that are like, "Oh man, Justin Gaethje better bring a gun." Da 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 da. And yeah, it's very possible that he could get knocked out early. And if that happens, guess what? It's gonna be good. It'll be good. We'll all celebrate the knockout. We'll be like, "Oh my goodness!" But what I believe is going to happen, I don't think he gets knocked out as early and as easy as everybody else suggests. I think he makes this a little tougher. I think he puts up a good fight. And if that happens, it's going to be great. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Can Justin, and if not even pull it off, like he might even pull this off. He might pull off a Rocky.
To be honest, I don't know how Justin Gaethje should fight Ilia Topuria. I will say that just wrestling against Ilia, but Justin Gaethje he's not wrestling. But I think the Justin, he's gonna tuck his hand and try to punch like how he does, but that's what Ilia will study him. He will study him and then he will exactly punch right there, you know?
What was originally viewed as a fascinating stylistic matchup now feels like something much bigger, creating the type of rivalry that people remember long after the final result is announced. Joe Rogan's reaction reflects exactly what many fans are thinking right now. This fight was already massive. Now it feels personal, emotional, and potentially explosive in a way that makes it impossible to ignore. And if the tension continues building between now and fight night, the UFC White House card may end up delivering one of the most intense rivalries we've seen in years.